Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and my partner in crime, Amanda Bryan. And today we are talking about Survivor 44, episode 5, right before the mergatory. And what do you think of the episode? I'm lukewarm on the episode. What do you think of the episode?
The episode was okay. I didn't care for the end edit. That's the first time they've ever done that. I didn't like it. Um, I understand they have to give a lot of screen time to three people right now because they're the only people in the tribe and they keep losing. And I understand that, but I do miss having an edit of other people in the game as well. We're getting a lot of Carolyn, a lot of jam, like all of that. It's a lot of certain people, so it's very very obvious like who's going to make it far probably. But you know what? We thought Matthew was going to make it far too, and he ended up being a pre-merge medvac. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
that's
It was crazy episode. I don't know. It's cool to see how the SWAT people are relating to people on their tribe, but I want to see more of that. Like that was your big twist. You know what I'm saying? The first time we've had a swap in however long. We barely got any coverage of it. Like we haven't gotten hardly anything from Jamie.
no. I was very I was a little perplexed that Matthew left the game because he had so much screen time. The most screen
Yeah.
time from his tribe out of everybody, and he was the
Mhm.
narrator of his tribe. And usually, narrators of their tribe usually go to merge and make it decently far. Like
Right.
it's just surprising that that he. I mean, I'm not surprised that he left from hearing everything that he was going through. I'm just
Oh, I
surprised
know.
the
Did you
way he
hear
was
his
getting.
injury?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still recovering from his surgeries. He's still rehabbing
Yeah.
everything. So,
Which is nuts.
it's nuts. I bet he'll never climb rocks ever again.
I bet he
Uh
never will.
it's so weird to see that he was getting so much screen time, but then it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. It is. They must really like him, but I mean, honestly, before he was pulled, he was playing a really good game. He was in a
Mhm.
very, very good spot, and I don't think he was in any trouble to go home. And it's a shame. I think that's part of the reason why he took it so hard leaving is because he knew that he was playing, a fantastic game, and he wouldn't have been going home at that point in time if he could have stayed.
Yeah, it sucks. I would have loved to see him play longer. Hopefully, he gets another chance. To me, bringing him back would I like a second chance season would be perfect.
Yeah.
Um, it's it just sucks to see him go right before the merge. Well, merge,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you notice in the preview they didn't say merge. They said, "Oh, we're all on
No.
one beach."
Yep. The earn the merge. I guess
Earn the
they're gonna keep
merge.
that. Yeah, they're gonna keep that in server, which I
That's
don't
definitely
mind.
keeping.
I don't mind earn the merge. Like some people are very, very adamant about like if you make the merge, you make the jury. Like that should be a definite, surefire thing. I'm not as bent about it. I don't care either way if you make the jury or not during merge.
See, I'm more on the other side of it than you are.
Yeah, you're more of a stand on it.
Yeah. But I don't mind the earn the merge. I just wish the person who got voted out there would be on the jury. I think earn the merge is fine. Having that in there is fine, but like, yeah, I just think I think
Hmm.
just not I just don't want to have like the person be voted out not make the merge. It's just like that make the jury cuz it's like a milestone in a way. I just feel like it should be.
Do you think they do that because usually the first, say you merge, you have one round, okay, then they're off, they get voted out, and then they only get to watch tribal council from then on out.
Mhm.
So it's like, do you think they do that to avoid, a biased first juror vote for the winner?
Possibly.
I mean, could
Possibly.
be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how you've been first juror before, right? You feel
Yeah.
like you don't know. I have too, and you feel like you don't know.
What really happened?
Yeah, like what really happened in their game. Like I've heard many first jurors be like, "Well, I don't really know who I'm voting for because I really didn't meet any of you. So, let me just hear your final tribal and so on and so forth." So maybe they're doing this just to, have a couple of rounds with people before they officially start, judging their game, which I
Mm,
don't mind.
yeah. Um,
Mhm.
like, as long as there's no hourglass twist, earning the merge doesn't bother me. We're for sure getting that next episode.
I think
Or
Jeff learned his lesson.
what?
I think Jeff learned his lesson with the hourglass twist.
Yeah, it was a dud.
Oh, yeah, the
Like
medallion of power.
like if Roxroy is hitting that hourglass, everyone would hit the hourglass. Uh,
Rockroy wanted to be on Alone. He didn't want to be on Survivor.
that's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but we did get a fun segment with Carson, with Matthew. That's just why I think Carson's in such a stellar spot because
He
the
is.
the person who was narrating the tribe was Matthew, and during this episode, he narrated how awesome Carson was. He had his little nerd connection with Kane, and he had a touchy moment with Matthew, how he's talking about how much pain he was in, and everything like that. So I really think Carson has something special with him as a game player because
Yeah.
from what we've seen so far, he looks like he could do it all, and it's
It
very
seems
exciting
like
to see.
it seems like Carson is the only one of the people that have swapped that really isn't in any trouble. He's done a great job of keeping himself likable, and that tribe welcomed him with open arms, whereas Josh, would have been voted out if it wasn't for his idol. And moving on to the next round, he has no relationship with Jam Jam, which is, horrible gameplay, like horrible, terrible gameplay to just openly be like, I don't trust you. Like, and there's a tribe of three people. Like, what are you doing,
Yeah,
bro? Like, like you have like these are the only people that are gonna have your back and validating your character to other people. So, they're gonna be asking, Jam Jam and Carolyn, well, how's Josh? People from Rat 2, how's Josh? What do you think of Josh? And they're gonna be like, Josh is, mean, or Josh is, rude, or whatever, the case
dismissive.
is, and
Yeah,
dismissive. And, and that's going to hurt him. So I feel like he's not very aware of how he comes off. And I think that's going to hurt him, but
he is a surgeon after all.
he is a surgeon. He's good with his hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just I could see how he could be a little stale a little bit towards people being that
Yeah.
line of work. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like in that line of work, you have to kind of you probably have a different mentality than a lot of people.
Right.
Um, like steady hand. I guess wasn't Gabler a surgeon?
And he was a brain surgeon. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess Gabler was didn't have problem with it, but I could see how
Hmm.
that could put you in a different kind of mentality though, cutting people. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally couldn't do it, so um but yeah, I did love Jam Jam was cracking me up. He's like, "What's up with the bitch face?"
Dude, he had some great one-liners. He is so funny.
He
It's
is.
it does make sense why that tribe is getting the most airtime, because Jam Jam and Carolyn are just fantastic television, and Carson being over there too was great. So we got a lot. And then Josh being over there, and like Josh is not Josh is not a good player, but you love to watch his bad gameplay on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to highlight his bad gameplay because it's entertaining.
Right.
And, they want America to be like, oh my God, look at this guy,
I mean, he has a
thinking
point
he's
though.
playing great.
He had a point though. Jam Jam did have a point. He's like, "You lied to me too. Like, why are you mad at me? Like, we did the same things. You just didn't vote for me."
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Which is true. They both lied to each
Ridiculous.
other. Yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. And
like
Carolyn,
like you said, on a three-person tribe, you can't alienate anybody. Then you're counting on Carolyn to vote with you again.
exactly.
And she just flipped
Mm-hmm.
on her other people. Like, what makes you think she's gonna stick with you? Like, no offense to her. Like, that's why I said it might be a bad move for doing the way she did it. But it's like, like you're putting all your eggs in Carolyn's basket now. Do you really want all your eggs in Carolyn's basket?
But that's how she's playing right now. Let's
Yeah.
just talk about Carolyn for a second, because she's playing a fantastic game. She's playing a fantastic game. Like, she really is. And her personality is very distracting. And I think that people don't take her seriously because of it, but she's playing a great game. And she it's funny because it's like it seems like the power shifts between those three people, but she seems to hold the majority of it most of the time. You know, based off of her relationship with Josh or her relationship with Jam Jam, and I don't know. I think that Jam Jam at the end of the day is going to be more loyal to Carolyn than he will Josh, even though he's more like Josh. They have more in common. They're closer, but I think that he knows that it's gonna. Carolyn is the one.
Yeah. Um, I really do think that Carolyn is being underestimated. She, in a way, I don't know, like, in a way, she reminds me of Marianne. How she kind of got on
Hmm.
people's nerves, and she was seen as sporadic and crazy at times. And somebody who was underestimated, and she made it pretty far, and she
Yeah.
won the game. Now, do I think Carolyn's gonna win? I don't know because she is
Right.
more extra than Marianne was. Not saying that it's not been
Mhm.
fun to watch, or she's like 100% golden casting for sure. But like,
Oh,
do we
absolutely.
do we know for sure she's gonna be able to make the correct decisions throughout the game? We don't know 100% for sure, but we didn't know that about Marianne either. So could she?
Right.
Yes, she has
I
I
could
don't, no one
see.
knows about it. Danny has
My
I don't, no one
question
knows about
is,
it.
let's fast forward quite a bit and put Carolyn in like the final five. Like, do we really like? I just have a hard time thinking that Carolyn can win her way through a final five, final four. Especially if she's relying on winning immunity to be safe. And I just don't know how much I rely on Carolyn to beat someone in fire.
Yeah, I really do think that Kalen could be taken to fire for easy fire win. I could
Hmm.
see that happening, and where I could see like somebody like Carson, you don't want at the end that can make fire. Jam Jam can make fire. Heidi can make
Yeah.
fire. Like we've seen
I would
this
not want to
happen.
fucking go up against fire against Jam Jam. Not
No,
at
so
all.
like those players right there are scary fire maker. Mainly Carson and Jam Jam because I just don't have a lot of faith in Heidi. She has not got like no screen time. I remember the last time she had a confessional, probably when they went to tribal.
I mean, if she has had a confessional, I'll have to look on Reddit for the confessional count, but
Yeah,
it's gotta be one or two. Maybe per episode the past like 3 episodes. Like I feel like we've got nothing of her. And we want to see these people. Like I wish they would, I know they can't, it's hard to fit into an hour. They just need to make it longer. They
yeah,
do.
they really do. Hour and a half to 2 hours would be perfect. So,
Mhm.
um, uh, so we get to like another summit, and there's no advantages or anything. We had Carolyn, Danny, and Brandon, and this was hilarious. I don't know about you, but I was laughing my
Oh my
ass off.
gosh. I just couldn't believe how bad Danny and Brandon were playing that.
So
Like
bad, so bad.
so bad,
So
but
it,
I was
and
I was
Carolyn's
listening
like,
to something the other I was listening to something the other day though, but listen, I was listening to something the other day and we only saw what was edited, okay, of that whole thing. Do we think that Brandon and Danny were turned off by Carolyn because of the way that she acts? And
I mean,
maybe they
that's
talked to her for a little bit and then they were like, "Oh, this lady's like crazy kooky, like, we don't know how much faith we can put into her as an alliance member." And then they kind of purposely like kind of like shut her out. And that's the edit we saw because which reminds me of Gabler, you
yeah.
know, of people not wanting to include Gabler, and Gabler turned around and used that to his advantage. And I think that Carolyn's doing the same thing. She you know, immediately went back and told her tribe that, hey, Danny and Brandon are making an alliance together. They're excluding me. They don't want me in it. I don't want to hang out with them. Like I want to be with you guys, type of thing. And I think that was smart of her to do that because she could have come back from that and been like, oh my God, we had a great time and I love them and really caused doubt on her tribe, which she cannot do on a 3-person tribe. So I think that she did it well.
Yeah. Uh it it's just like I know that could be like possibly like edited and funky. I do get that 100%. But this is my thinking. This is my thinking. Just pretend. Just pretend.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be loyal to her, but don't be like,
No.
"Hey, Brandon, like you and me, like we really gotta look out for each other, like because we're like you and
Yeah.
me." You can't say that, and then Carolyn's
You
like,
can't
"Oh,
say
so
that. Carolyn's right there.
there, right?" And when she says, "Hey, I need allies," um, I need allies. Going into merge and like, "Oh, that's cool, but you and me, Brandon, we're good." Like, you can't do that. Even if you
No.
didn't want to work with her, you just have to pretend because even
You
if she go
lie.
even if like she's going to tribal, yes, but like, are you sure she's going home?
Right.
And then you can't say to her, we gotta get with you and me gotta get with Josh. As she's going to tribal with Josh. Like, that just paints
So
Josh as
bad.
a big target on his back for no reason. Josh did nothing wrong. It's just like that whole segment was terrible. Like I
I
like
think
it,
that that segment is gonna be important. That
yes.
segment is gonna be important later.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
agree. That
Carolyn
wasn't
was
just a regular reward.
hilarious. It wasn't just that she was in her confessionals
Yes.
telling us how she felt. She literally told them right in front of their faces, like, "Oh, I guess I'm not included." Like, she was saying this stuff to their faces, and they didn't even care.
No.
I was just baffled by what I was seeing. It was just like
Mm.
crazy. That was by far the worst thing Danny done so far within the game, because
Oh, for sure.
it, Carolyn can easily paint Danny, Brandon, and Josh as the biggest threats in the game going into mergatory,
Do you realize
especially
that all 3 of those people opened the birdcage?
yeah.
Mhm. I wonder if they talked about that at all.
If they did, Carolyn's not telling them the way she's.
No.
To be
Hell
fair, she
no.
hasn't told nobody. So, uh,
Nope. Let's ring the bell on this one. Good
yeah,
job, girl.
good job.
We're not gonna yeah, that's great. Finally, someone not telling their tribe about their advantage.
Yeah.
I love to
So,
see it.
uh, yeah, I don't know. We'll see though. I'm really excited for the merge of Troy, but I really think that Brandon's gonna be the sacrificial lamb out of the two.
Mm, yeah.
He's the bigger guy. He doesn't have an idol, and
No
everyone
screen
knows he
time.
doesn't have an idol because he played it already.
I don't think
Um,
he's got the social connections to be able to save himself. I mean, other than with Danny, but if Danny's whole tribe is telling him, Brandon is we're not saving Brandon.
Bernie and
Like,
Matt are
what's he
gonna
gonna
want to play
do?
with Brandon.
No. Heck
Look,
no.
and Bernie and Matt are gonna be like, "Yo, we're gonna go work with Carson and Carolyn and
Yeah, and
JJ."
be the yeah, and be the nerds, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just like
Heidel will be in the middle like a queen.
why would they want to be the part of the big guy squad, Matt and Franny? They're not gonna want to link up with them.
Hell no.
Jam
I
Jam's
mean, that's why I'm surprised you have Franny so high because Franny okay, I feel like Franny and Matt are some of the worst positions in the game.
Matt Theory. I think she's in a better position than Jam Jam.
I don't know.
I just think she's not gonna like like her and Matt are gonna be able to
Jam
high.
Jam, Jam Jam, and Carolyn are going to get to merge. They're going to link back up with Carson, who is in good with Danny, who's in good with Heidi. So you got a 5 right there. Not counting
No,
if Franny
Carson's
and
not any good with
Matt's.
Danny and Heidi. He's on the
Yeah.
Orange Tribe.
All right, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's
He's
right. I'm
so
thinking.
he,
I'm thinking he's good with.
this is the alliance that I envision going to merge. Matt, Franny, Carolyn, Jan Jam, Carson, Kane. I can see it.
I don't think Kane and Carson are as strong as what you think they are.
But like who's Kane who are they gonna relate with? Each other.
They're going to relate with each other, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to work with them.
They're not gonna let the three this is what they're gonna get those guys out. Brandon's gonna I think Brandon if Brandon isn't safe from Mergatory, he's gonna be the merge boot, in my opinion. But I really think if they're doing the
I
urge
don't
and
know. We've seen
merge,
some crazy shit, man. We've
yeah.
seen some crazy shit happen.
I think if they're doing earn the merge though, there's a really great chance he's gonna win that challenge. So
Carson's been great at challenges too.
he's like he showed how well he was competing with Tika, and when they left, they
Yeah,
crumbled.
yeah,
So like
crumbled.
he's actually been a low key like really great at the challenges.
It's not even low key. He's been
Yeah,
high key good at the challenges. Like he's good at
yeah,
the puzzles. He's good at the physical. Like
yeah.
he
He's
gained
been
30 pounds of muscle just to get on Survivor. So like he's no joke, man.
no,
He knew that he was going to be a mental threat, and he wanted to be a physical threat too. So he gives me Tom
yeah,
Holland vibes. I'm sure you've
okay,
heard that.
yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah.
So we have the immunity challenge and care, or we have the as I was before the little sanctuary thing,
Right.
and we have the immunity, and then we go back and we strategize for like 20 minutes. Like, what are they gonna do? Josh and is telling Jam Jam, hey, we're good, da da da, we're good. And then Carolyn gets back. Then they start
Hmm.
Carolyn calls out Josh about the Danny Brandon thing. And Josh is like, well, I guess
Yes.
she's voting for me. I don't know. Right to his face, and then
Right to his face.
right to his face. And then he's like, yeah, I have an idol. And he showed the same idol thing to Carolyn, the same one that he already showed her. And then he showed them a fake idol. And Jan Jan's like, this is from True Mail.
He knew exactly where those beads were. Are these the beads from Tree Mail? Josh, no. Dude, it was the most catty little fight. That shit was so funny.
So
That's when
funny.
I was dying laughing. You were dying laughing at the reward. I was dying laughing at that.
And then
Great.
then he's holding it and it's falling apart. And he's like, you're destroying it.
Yes. Fucking ridiculous. Probably the worst fake idol that I've ever seen, except for the fucking stick.
Like,
I think the fucking stick is the lowest of the low, but other than that, that has got to be the worst fucking fake idol I've ever seen. It literally looked like a broken keychain. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little elastic on the inside of it,
remember
like breaks and just
the
a bunch of
lizard
loose
keychains they
beads.
used to have? The lizards
Yeah,
with the beads. That's
yeah.
what it reminded me of.
Oh my god, dude. Nothing felt
Oh
like an
god,
idol
that's a
more than
90s
that
thing right
thing.
there.
It was terrible. Josh, what are you doing? You're my winner pick, bro. You were my winner pick before the season. You're letting me
At least
down.
yours and mine is still in the game. Hanson's was their first boot.
Oh god. And Ed's got Jam to rely on. I think
Yeah.
is it me, you, and
Vreeland.
Vreeland? Yeah, they all have our picks still in.
Hmm.
We're dominating merge.
Yeah.
I want to beat you all so bad. You guys always talk shit about my picks every single time, and then they end up making it far,
Hey,
and
hey,
then who's the one
turn
talking
it down just a
shit?
little bit. There's this weed. It's mainly Vreeland and Michael. I'm like, I understand that pick. Like I like to, I was high on Josh before the season. He's just been kind of disappointing throughout the season.
I mean, Josh, you never know. He could turn it around once he
Right,
gets
he
back with his
could.
people.
He
Yeah, he
could.
definitely could. I think that he's a
Yeah.
smart individual. You know, we've gotten some screen time with him. I mean, like, if you're looking at the cat, I can't look because I'm on my phone, so you can
Yeah.
look for me. But like, who would you say are no edits?
No,
Lauren, Kane,
Lauren, I'd say
Heidi,
Heidi, Jamie.
Jamie, a little bit. I feel like Jamie's gotten some edit though.
I think the two that are the most is Lauren and Heidi though.
Yeah, I think Lauren and Heidi. I think Lauren's gonna be another Chanel where she goes super early. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean Lauren. There's Lauren, Heidi, Kane. I mean, we really haven't even got a whole lot from Franny and Matt.
I think we got way more than anybody from that tribe. Even Danny. Who we talk about who do we talk about at that tribe every season episode? It's
Oh,
Franny and Matt.
Danny. Yeah.
Franny and Matt.
I
And it
mean,
goes to
yeah, they
Franny.
production loves Franny and Matt, but I don't think Franny or Matt are playing the spectacular game.
To be fair, they only had to go to one tribal. It's hard. It's
Yeah,
really
it is. I
hard.
agree.
It's really hard to see because the orange tribe only went to one tribal and the green
Hmm.
tribe only went to one tribal. The
True.
purple tribe went to all the other tribals.
And that's why we've had so much screen time of them.
Yeah. So like it's
Yeah.
really hard to know exactly what's going on because we haven't got a lot from them. So
Yeah.
going into going into mergatory, which we probably think is going to happen. Um, me and Amanda each power ranked the people left. We're gonna go through and
And we're
we'll
completely
go
different.
completely different. We're gonna start with we'll just start with
Start
the
with yours so
alphabetical
you
order.
can read mine because I won't be able to exit out.
Okay, all right. So mine starts with I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top. I think Jamie is number 12. And honestly, the last three or four
I'm gonna write these
interchangeable in a way.
down so
Okay.
we can. I'm gonna write these down so I know like how so I can compare.
Okay.
Ooh,
Let me
check
you
out the
ready?
big note. Look at check out these big notepads. It's fancy.
Okay.
Okay, let's
So
start with yours.
all right, so 12 I have Jamie. And like I said,
Okay,
these four I could see kind of like interchanging a little bit. I have Brandon at
that's
11.
how some of mine are too.
Yeah. I think Brandon if I think he the reason why he's not 12 is because I think there's a good chance he survives the first round because he's gonna win that challenge. Um,
What are you
Lauren
doing?
at number 10.
Okay, sorry. Go
Uh,
ahead.
no, Lauren at number
Who do you
10.
have at 10? Okay,
Lauren.
Lauren 10.
I just haven't seen her, and the what we've seen from her was a little chaotic in the first
Mm-hmm.
episode, and that's all we really have to go off of.
True.
And then Heidi at number 9. Again, I think she has potential. What we've seen of her has been not bad, but obviously the producers haven't given her any screen time, so I really don't think she's gonna be that big of a factor throughout the
Right.
season. I have Kane at number 8, and the reason why I think that is because I think he is gonna link up with Carson because he's not gonna want to stick with Brandon, and Brandon's gonna go early, and Kane's gonna try to latch onto somebody. I think that's gonna be Carson. I have Josh at number 7. I really think that as long as he doesn't get jumbled in with the Danny, Brandon, Josh group,
Yeah.
Josh could possibly make some headway throughout the game. I have Matt at 6, and I could change Matt and Josh. I think they're about a little same to me. The reason why I have
Mm-hmm.
Matt at 6 is because he's gotten a lot of screen time. Yes, it's been about Franny, but
Mm-hmm.
as long as those guys are in the game, I feel like Franny and Matt can hide behind those guys. So if they get some kind of placement with throughout the game, maybe that's who Kane latches onto, Franny and Matt.
Right.
I'm thinking he's going to get to Carson, but there's a chance that Kane could be like, you know what? I bind with Franny and Matt, and I could definitely see them three linking up, and that could take
Yeah.
them far as well. Um, so I think he doesn't lose. I'm not sure if he still loses his vote going into Mergatory or not.
I think
Uh,
he does because he
well,
still has not gone to another tribal, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure if it's the same rules as it was on Survivor 43, then yes, he's still
Okay, we'll find out for sure.
yeah.
The next episode. I have Danny at 5. What Danny showed me last episode scared me a little bit. He still does have an idol. I still think he's gonna be a little crazy man at the merge, but he did show me a little bit of maybe a weakness, thinking he could just run over some of these players like a Matt, like a Franny, like a Carson, like a Carolyn, like a Jam Jam that could definitely get him in trouble, thinking that these
Right.
guys aren't to par with him. I have 4. I have Carolyn. She probably has the most confessionals, if not the most. She
Oh
probably has
yeah,
second
by
most
far.
by far. Production.
For sure.
She had the very first confessional of the season. She has an idol no one
Hmm.
knows about, and people
She planted a
underestimate
fake
her.
idol.
She planned a fake idol, but
Hmm.
that's gone. But I really think Carolyn has a chance to make it decently far because I don't think people are going to see her as a threat. Like Jan Jan said, they're going to see me as a threat, which is true, which is true.
Right.
But Carolyn is now a no dummy. Um, at number 3, I have Carson. Look, he has shown so far all we've gotten is positive content of Carson. We haven't had one bad thing shown
Hmm.
to us of Carson. Now, is he playing perfect? Probably not, but we're not seeing nothing that's not positive about him. Matthew said something
Right.
positive about him last episode. Kane really likes him. Jan, Jim, and Carolyn both trust him. He's done really well at the challenges. It's been nothing but positivity for Carson. So I think there's a good chance that he could really go far within the game. I don't see him going
Hmm.
anytime soon. And I've been saying all season. I'm sticking with it. My Matt theory. I'm taking Jan Jan at two,
Oh my god.
Franny at one. Jan Jan, look, he has a chance to still make headway within the game. Maybe he made some headway with Josh, but from what we've seen, probably not. I just think, I just think that he has a good chance. I think he has a good chance of making bonds in relationship. And there's a lot of people who are like that nerdy archetype that I feel like he's gonna bond with
Right.
pretty well. Um, and then Franny at one, I think she's the brain of the Matt and her relationship. I think she's the better player probably out of the two. Where Matt is like, "Oh, I want to be with Franny right now," and Franny's like, "We'll wait till after the season." Um, she is thinking about the game. I really do think that there's a chance that Matt's going to be seen as a physical threat and maybe take sniped out before Franny. And I also think that people are going to see them as a pair and very enticing to pair up with. So
Yeah.
I have Franny at one, Jan Jan number two, and that's my list. You ready for yours?
Yep, it's way different than yours. Let's say that. All right, what do I have number 12?
You have Kane.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead. We're just go ahead and give my list, and I'll go back and talk about it.
Okay, you have Kane at
What do I have?
12,
11,
Jamie. You have Lauren at number 10.
10. Hey, look at
Well,
that. We
yeah,
have a shared
yeah,
placement.
yeah. You have Matt at number 9, Franny at
Okay.
number 8, uh,
Franny.
Brandon at
Okay.
7,
Okay.
Heidi at 6,
Heidi Queen. Okay.
Jam Jam at 5, Josh at 4,
Okay.
Carson at 3,
Hey, look, another shared
Carolyn
placement. Okay.
Carolyn at 2, and Danny
All
at 1.
right, and then Danny at 1. All right. Okay, so I think my list is a little bit more realistic than your Matt theory, but we will go over it. So obviously, I mean, starting with 12 with Kane. I see how you feel about Kane is how I feel about Lauren. Like we've gotten hardly any content. The content we do have, like the most content we got from Kane was his relationship with Carson, and Carson just got there. So that shows me that he didn't have great, relationship with people that he's been on a tribe with, and they've been winning. So why is Kane not have these, relationships with these people already? So that to me is kind of a little bit of a red flag. And then we, just because we saw a snippet of his relationship with Carson, we didn't get Carson's side of that. So we don't know if Carson feels, as infatuated with about the relationship as much as Kane does. So I think that Kane is actually like way worse off than what Frank does. We have Jamie at 11 just because, she thinks that both of her idols are real, or not. Well, one is real, but it's, only good until merge, which is
Yeah.
next round. So, and then she thinks her other idol is real. So I think that she, obviously fell for that hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, and
Do I
Carson
blame
thinks it's
her?
real.
No. Yeah, and Carson thinks it's real. But I, her, I think that she is way too blinded at the fact of being on the show in general, and I don't know. I just think she's not taking the game seriously. Is almost how I feel a little bit. She's got the excitement of it, and she's that person that's like, oh right, let's go, let's go, let's go. She's very gung ho about it. But I don't know. I just to me it would be annoying, and I just don't think that other people will take to her as well. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I could see her being a first merge boot. I know we were talking earlier how we could see Lauren being a first merge, but I could definitely see Jamie being a first merge
Like I
boot.
said, I think my bottom four, it would not surprise me if either one of those
Oh
four are
yeah.
merge group.
Yeah. So, Lauren, we have at 10. Same reason as Frank. We just haven't seen a lot of Lauren. I actually liked Lauren's content in the beginning and didn't mind her. We have to remember too, this is only like what, 8 days in the game,
I
9 days
think
in the
there were
game.
day 11 when Matthew left.
Oh, day 11. Okay. So,
Yeah,
a week and a half. That's nothing. We don't know these people. They don't know each other almost 100% yet. So, I think we'll get more of Lauren, and Lauren has a spicy enough personality to maybe be able to make it a round or two, but I don't think that she's going to make it super far in Emerge either. I have Matt at 9 with Franny at 8. I'm going to just group them together because they're already grouped together pretty much on the show. We can't have one without the other. Um, but I think that they're not in the greatest position. I think that they only have each other, and they haven't gone to tribal but one time. So, they're not really proving their game to each other. They're not, voting repeatedly on the same lines. So I think they could be seen as a threat because we just don't know where their game is heading or what they want to do or who they're targeting. I do agree with you that Franny is probably the brains of that operation, but I think that she could be targeted for that too. So that's why I have her to maybe a little bit higher than Matt because I think that she is smarter. But at the same time, I think that she knows it's a target for her and she's not really doing anything about it because she likes Matt so much. So, and Matt, I think, doesn't have a strategic bone in that guy's body. Not, I mean, we have seen literally no good gameplay from Matt since the very first episode. And the little that they have shown of him hasn't been fantastic. So, I have Brandon at 7 just because I do think that his physical capabilities should not be ignored, and he did play a correct idol this game. So, I'm not going to discredit that, even though it was the first tribal. But I think that he was trying to have a relationship with Danny. I think that obviously we talked about it. They played the Carolyn thing really, really bad. But in Brandon's eyes, Carolyn is probably irrelevant, and he doesn't think that she'd make it very far based off of the 5 minutes he got to know her. So, I think that Brandon, could play it smart and be someone that they might want to keep around. But he could be targeted early merge, just like the big guys usually are as well. But we've got a couple of guys on here that are good at challenges and could be targets. Danny, Carson, Jam Jam, like they all are great at challenges, or at least, put their effort in. So they might, be right there up there with Brandon, and that would be targeted. So we will see. I have Heidi at 6. I think that Heidi is the glue that holds that tribe together. I think that she's really, really good with Franny and Matt, and that she's also good with Danny. She's at, playing that perfect middle area. The one time they did go to tribal, she was in that middle position. And since they haven't had to go to tribal again, I doubt that position has changed very much. Since the tribe swap, things might be a little bit different now. But I don't think that, Josh leaving was a big hit on her. I think that her number one is Danny, and as long as those two are together, trust each other and rely on each other. And Danny's playing a spectacular game, lots of advantages. So I don't see Heidi being in a trouble position anytime soon. Jam Jam at 5. I think that Jam Jam's playing an amazing game. I think that he played the fake idol thing perfectly with Josh. Him and Carolyn kind of teamed up together to kind of call Josh out. His bullshit was really good. I think that he's hilarious television. Obviously, that boosts me a little bit higher for him just because he's a great character. I think that even though they've gone to tribal a million times, I think that he's got the personality enough and the social enough to be able to withstand going through merge. And if him and Heidi link up together, they're both from Puerto Rico. I think that that could be a connection for him. They've already shown his connection with Josh, with LGBTQ and everything, and so is Franny and Carolyn are also LGBTQ. So that could be something they can relate with other people as well. Okay, Josh at number 4. I think that Josh is playing a smart but not the greatest game. Obviously, the fake idol thing was terrible, but I think that he does have connections on his old tribe. I don't think they were as weak as connections as what Kane had with his tribe. So I think that he still has connections with the Green tribe. He doesn't have the greatest connection with he doesn't have the greatest connection with Yam Yam. You know what? I would probably almost bring Josh down to like maybe number 6 and then bring Heidi and Jam Jam up a little bit. Or yeah. And bring Josh down a little bit. I think like my 6 through 4 are kind of interchangeable. Just kind of like your lower tiers kind of interchangeable. Um Carson number 3. Carson, like Frank said, is playing amazing. They haven't shown anything bad about him. He's likable in confessionals. He's playing smart. People trust him, like him. Kane is jumping on the opportunity to be able to scoop Carson up and work with him. So I think that he's doing absolutely amazing. I think he's going to make it really, really far in this game. And he could have been like a first boot, like fucking Zach was on Survivor 42. We wouldn't have known, But I'm glad to see that's not the case, and I think that he is going to be a fan favorite after this season. I think that people are just going to eat him up, and he's going to be like the next Shan. You know what I mean? Like people are really going to love that character, and he's going to be really loved and probably come back. Carolyn number 2, she's playing an amazing game. She's got an idol, playing a fake idol. She's calling out Brandon and Danny's bullshit. She's got Jam Jam and Josh, playing back and forth with her. So even though she's gone to tribal 10 million times and she's not the strongest at challenges, I think that she's playing a major strategic game, which is not something I would be able to say for her otherwise. So I think that that's fantastic. And Danny is number one. I think that Danny has this game in the bag. I think that he's, a Tony 2.0, and if people don't get him out and see him as a threat, which I don't think they do right now. I think they do, but they don't. They see him as a threat, but not as big as they should. You know what I'm saying? Like not as like he is holy shit, playing this game well. Um, he's got it, go with his tribe. They've hardly gone to tribal. He's been able to pull the fake idol over in everyone's eyes. So I think that he's killing it. I think he's got a good relationship with Heidi. I think he's got a decent enough relationship with Matt and Franny to where he's not going to be a target if they go to tribal. His name ain't going to come up. So there's my spiel on all those players. Did you
Yep.
want to comment on anything?
I just think we've seen a lot of negative. Like that was the first time we got negative content from Danny was this episode, and I just feel like that's just
Yeah,
setting the
it was interesting.
narrative. And I also think the reason why I'm so low on the Orange Tribe as a whole is that Matthew was medevac this episode or meta quit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, we didn't get to see their perspective at all about him being taken off the game out of the game.
No, this edit was the first time that they had someone leave the game and not show them leaving the game.
Yeah,
Did you
maybe we'll
notice
get it in the
that? That was so
flashback.
weird. Oh
Maybe we'll get it in
yeah, maybe we'll get it
flashback.
next episode.
But
But
we
man,
he
that'd be
did
weird
say,
too to have like giving him even more content.
yeah, I know.
Sorry, did you
But
miss that?
no, no, no.
Oh,
Matthew,
okay, okay.
no, Matthew, did confirm in his exit interview he didn't give his idol to anybody. He didn't get to say goodbye. I don't know if you got to that point. He didn't get to say goodbyes to his tribe,
That's
and
crazy.
it's like it's just weird. It's just weird way to do it. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
like they're just for him to just to not I really hope the next episode in the beginning they show maybe like a 2-minute segment of him leaving. I would be okay with that. But that'd be so weird to just like cut it like that. They're
yeah.
really giving the Tika tribe content. Like they
I really
literally
didn't.
gave Carolyn, Jam Jam, and Josh more content than Matt leaving the game.
Yeah,
You realize that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like Carson's gonna be back in that narrative. You think about it, 3 of the 5 of yours are Tika members. 3 of the 5 of mine are Tika members.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And Carson
so
was original Tika.
yep, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so I really think that I look, we could be wrong, and it just shows because they went to tribal a lot. But Shannon Ricard
Yeah.
had a lot of screen time when it came to merge and 41. They were heavily narrated the narrative of the season throughout until Shan left, and then obviously Ricard left. So I
Yep.
really think that Jam Jam, Carolyn, and Carson are going to play a huge part, and maybe even
And
Josh.
and you never know, like someone like Lauren or Matt could have a Lindsay edit and really not shine until like final nine, and then just killed it until final five. We got a great edit from Lindsay, throughout the merge, but it took a little bit for us to get that content from her. So, and we ended up really liking Lindsay. She ended up being a
Yeah,
power player in this game. So, it doesn't
we
surprise me one bit.
I like we'll see. Survivors definitely edited this new era differently, and so it's like
Yeah, they
hard to
have.
pinpoint sometimes. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this is the weakest episode of the season so far.
Yeah,
I
I still
I feel
liked
like
it.
I still liked it, but it just like it ended on a sour note, and it would just ended
Yeah, it
weird.
was a weird ending. I
Yeah.
hope that sometimes I wonder if they edit this because when you go back and watch it later and you watch on a binge, you watch it without commercials, and I think that the way they edit now, they make it more binge worthy. So you
Mhm.
can actually go back and watch it back to back to back to back and it flow really nicely. So I wonder if next episode it's going to start with, Matt's boat driving away or something like that, just
Yeah.
like to kind of give that binge worthy quality. But when you watching it live, it doesn't translate that way. But if
Oh,
we were to go back and watch it on a rewatch, it probably would make more sense.
did you catch Carolyn telling Josh, "I was gonna vote for you"? Did you catch that at the end when they were hugging?
No.
Uh, she's like,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah, 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 I
now
did.
I don't gotta vote for you," or something.
Oh my god. I mean, she
Uh,
probably. I mean, he probably knew that she was going to do that,
Still, you
but
don't
she's going to be
say it.
happy she had to play her idol. She's going to be happy she had to
Yeah,
play her idol.
yeah. So
She got lucky there.
we have two idols going into merge. Two fake idols, Jamie and Matt. We have an extra, or is it extra vote, right, with Lauren,
Uh
and
huh.
that's it.
Yeah, which is
Not too
nice.
bad. Not too bad.
No,
Uh,
not too bad at all. Not
Hopefully
counting
that
the merge
stays that
idol.
way. Yeah,
We'll also have a
mm,
merge idol,
yeah.
which Danny will probably find.
I'm the idol queen.
He's funny, man.
Uh,
He's got a good
but
personality to him. I really do like this cast. There's really not. I mean, even though I have like Kane number 12 and like Jamie number 11, I still don't hate them as castaways. Like I don't hate Kane as a castaway. I mean,
I,
Jamie's a little annoying, but I mean, I like everybody on this list.
I really think a swap to two tribes would have really benefited this
Me
cast,
too.
because we would have definitely got to, instead of swapping to one person, we swapped from three tribes to two tribes, and we got to see more maybe of Lauren and Heidi and Jamie, Kane. Like probably could have a better understanding of who they are going into these rounds. Instead, we're just kind of
Yeah.
like, well, they might be gone. uh, so, but I think that
Who
about
would you,
covers it
do
from
you
our.
do you think
Well,
we both yeah, I think it does too. We both agree that Jamie or Lauren could probably be like
yeah,
first to go.
I could definitely
Yeah.
see them being on the losing end of the mergatory and
Yeah.
being like the merge boot. So because I feel like
I agree. Well, is there
the
anything
great,
else you want to add or anything else we didn't go over? We really didn't go over, I mean, there was no tribal. We really didn't go over who we think will go home next round other than,
well,
I
that's the
mean,
mergatory.
Jamie and
So
Lauren. But yeah, I
Jimmy and
know.
Laura.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Do we think that, how do we think it's going to happen? The
I think it's gonna
Mergatory.
be 6-6 again, and then
Yeah.
half the
Hmm.
tribe safe, half the tribe isn't. Doesn't bother me none.
No hourglass twist.
No hourglass. Well, there's no extras, so it'll be 12.
Oh,
Even
yeah, that's right.
so, I guess we'll find out for sure next week.
All right. Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening and watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Adios.